The Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, has finally accepted two things. The first thing the Deputy President has accepted is the fact that President Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to support him for the presidency in 2022. President Uhuru Kenyatta had committed to support his deputy at the end of his term. And that's now not going to happen. Number two, the second thing the deputy president has accepted is the fact that the system is not with him. And that the system is likely working very strongly to stop his bid for the presidency in 2022. But one thing I love about the deputy president is the fact that he has accepted all this with grace. And the deputy president has actually changed strategy. And for those who've been following the politics of this country and also following very keenly the politics of the deputy president, his original strategy was very simple. Consolidate Central Kenya and then consolidate Rift Valley. Basically consolidate Jubilee stronghold and then raid ODM strongholds. The deputy president believed strongly that he had a chance in coast. So he focused on coast, Western, and Kisii. The deputy president believed by getting a percentage of votes from those sides with the Rift Valley fully on board and Central Kenya, he was destined for the presidency. But from all indications, it is now clear that even Central Kenya is now not guaranteed. And thus explains why Mutahi Ngunyi recently pointed out that for the deputy president to win, he needs 90% of votes from Central Kenya, while Raila Odinga only needs like 30%. But the deputy president has clearly changed his strategy. I want to play for you two clips here. One clip was immediately after David Maraga nullified the presidential election. And then the other clip of the same deputy president a week ago. So those two clips are by the same person. But I want you to it's a bit long, it's around 2 minutes, but I want you to pay close attention to the body language of the deputy president in the two clips. The tone of his voice in the two clips. The energy in the two clips. And even the authority in the two clips. Watch them, then we proceed.
What kind of democracy is this? Because democracy is the will of the people. 15 million Kenyans expressed their will and made their verdict known. Hata kama ingenakiliwa kwa full scap na ibebwe na mkokoteni, inatosha kwa sababu wa Kenya wameamua. So don't tell us about from this and from that. Don't tell us about this transmission and that transmission. Tell us about the people of Kenya. What did they decide? That is what is important to the Constitution. And don't tell us that it is not important that the people voted. That the only thing that is important is the form on which results were recorded and how it was transmitted. My friends, we may not be learned, but we are not stupid. Na tunataka Maraga atusikie vizuri. Kwa sababu he has had his day. Ours is coming. And by the way, that is not a threat. He has had his day. He has done his game. Our day is coming.
Ile migawanyiko ilikuwa ya kikabila, pia inakuja migawanyiko ya kisiasa. Saa hizi kuna wengi wanafurushwa kutoka nafasi zao. Kuna wengi wanaangaishwa kwa njia moja ama nyingine, eti kwa sababu wao ni marafiki wa naibu wa rais. Hawa watu wote mimi nawaomba muwaombee wawe na uvumilivu. na wajue ya kwamba mbali na hii changamoto tuko nayo, bado ni lazima tuishi kama ndugu na dada wa taifa moja, na tujue ya kwamba tukivumilia kidogo, Mungu atatusaidia na atafungua njia ya sisi kuendesha siasa ambayo haina mambo ya migawanyiko ama ukabila. That is my second request to you. Kwa sababu katika Kenya ya sasa kuna watu wengi wanatishwa, wewe utapelekwa kotini, wewe utapelekwa KRA, wewe utapelekwa EACC, wewe utateremshwa mamlaka hiyo, utafukuzwa kwa ofisi hii, utafanyiwa hii. Na sio kwa sababu wako na makosa, sio kwa sababu wameshindwa kutekeleza majukumu zao, eti kwa sababu wao ni marafiki wa naibu wa rais wa Kenya. Na mimi pia ni Mkenya jameni, ama namna gani?
Now, if you paid close attention to the body language, the tone, and even the speech itself, the energy, or the authority of the deputy president in those two clips, they are totally different. The deputy president has clearly changed his strategy. And one thing which was playing out before was the fact that the deputy president believed that Raila Odinga was actually the man behind his problems. But he has also come to realize that his problems originates from one man, President Uhuru Kenyatta. But what are this latest strategy which the deputy president is using? In my view, I've identified, because I follow the deputy president's politics very closely, I've identified 6 new strategies. The first strategy which the deputy president is using is direct engagement with the voters. I don't know why he has changed this. And those who follow this channel have always opined on this platform that the biggest challenge the deputy president had was the fact that he didn't have his own grassroots network. Unlike Raila Odinga, the deputy president actually depended on leaders whenever he wanted to reach to the voters or to the grassroots network. That's why in Malindi, for example, the deputy president identified Aisha Juma. That's why the deputy president banked heavily and invested heavily on leaders, elected leaders from central Kenya. And my problem has been and was that almost 90%, 85% of elected leaders normally don't make it back to parliament or to the Senate. So if you bank on them, then your chances of failing are normally very, very high. So this time around, I'm seeing a deputy president who is trying to reach directly to the voters by himself. He's trying to create his own network, which in my view, I think is good politics for him. Because depending on others to deliver for you votes is not a good strategy. Look at what's now happening to him in central Kenya. He had the people who were willing to support him fully. But he went to the people through individuals. So these individuals are now not very keen on supporting him. But the voters are now left there. So now he's trying to go directly to those voters. That's something the deputy president is currently doing. And if you are keen, his current residence has actually been turned into a political center. That's number one. Number two, I think the deputy president has identified a segment of the society, the women and the youths. And the deputy president is trying to appeal to them. And I pointed out, and I've been pointing it out, that the deputy president is even now trying to put on or to dress like a youth. If you follow on and watch the events the deputy president has been hosting at his residence, you'll realize most of those youths either come in dreads or the new hairstyles, not the usual ones like he yetu watu umenyoa, you maintain yourself, you try to be. He's trying to appeal to that segment. For the women, he's trying to identify himself with the women folk, especially the traders in the markets. For the youth, he's trying to capture across both what do we call these .com youths? What do we call them? Those who are kona rieng hao and again to the ordinary youths who are just doing business of welding, you know, wale wenye wanatengeneza, both low class and high-end class. So the deputy president is trying to appeal to them, trying to support their hustle. He has identified that gap because the deputy president believes that Raila Odinga and his age might not appeal to this target. Remember, Raila Odinga used to appeal, or is still appealing, to the people who believes in change, people who believes in the politics of change. The deputy president approach is different. We shida yako ni nini? Shida yangu, mimi nataka welding machine. Okay. Ndio hiyo. Raila Odinga is telling them, for us, you have to do this, you get the freedom so that the government can actually provide conducive environment for you to thrive. For the women, the deputy president have also monitored him very closely. He's now dismantling the Inua Mama initiative because it has failed. So the deputy president is currently trying to reach out to the women directly. Number 4 is the civil society, what they used to call the evil society. But the deputy president realized that some of his people, supporters, people around him, cannot appeal to the civil society. People like Dennis Itumbi cannot appeal to the civil society. People like Oscar Sudi cannot appeal to this civil society because they've been opposed to these people. They've been fighting the civil society. So the deputy president has devised a new strategy. He has identified a team which is going to engage directly with the civil society. On Sabasaba Day, several youths were arrested. And a group of politicians who are allied to the deputy president came out and talked about this issue. So the deputy president has crafted a team led by Hassan Omar, the former Mombasa senator, who is a very good friend of mine. He has also brought on board Johnson Mutama to try to appeal to the civil society. He's also brought on board Boni Halwale to try and appeal to the civil society. And of course, he has a few friends in the civil society. And the deputy president is also trying to bring on board key members who are previously key supporters of Raila Odinga, but now are not supporting Raila Odinga. People like David Indi, people like Miguna, although Miguna is a bit confused. And personally, I think Miguna might not be a normal person, and several others. So he's trying to create a vibrant civil society, which in my view, he wants to appeal to ordinary Kenyans, people who are not for William Ruto, people who are not for Raila Odinga, but who are in the middle. So he wants to bridge that gap, and is using this team. Whether this team is going to succeed or not is still something I don't know. But I want you to listen to Hassan Omar very briefly after Sabasaba rally.
Senator Mudama, Senator Halwale, and myself have continued to address certain topical issues, and more so inspired by the fact that we have an almost irredeemable and compromised opposition that should be standing out for some of these issues, and therefore Kenyans of goodwill, in their private capacity, in their representative capacity, now have a legitimate obligation, in fact a historical obligation, to ensure that we speak on various vices that take place in this country almost unabated. But today, more specifically, our press statement is on the state crackdown on the Sabasaba marches. You will recall some of us here were part of this Sabasaba, or the transformation process of this country in terms of democratization. And it will be a travesty to our nation if we did not speak to some of these issues.
Number 4, the church. The deputy president is working extra hard to appeal to the church. And is doing this because the deputy president was in Kano, and he understands how the church gave Moi a problem. The church in the yesteryears used to be public watchdog. They used to point out the vices facing the country. So the deputy president has not brought them together. So the church is also a very good opportunity for the deputy president to reach out to grassroots. And the deputy president has identified mostly the indigenous churches, although he's also working with these Pentecostal churches. But the deputy president is keen on using the church to advance his politics. That's why you will always see the deputy president with the Bible, even where the Bible is not supposed to be carried. You will see the deputy president invoking the name of the church when he feels that the church is under attack. He's trying to appeal to the church. The deputy president is projecting his family as church or as God-fearing. Basically, the deputy president is borrowing something which the Cambridge Analytica created for them in 2017, which worked. That there is the devil and then there is God. And that in this country, there are people who are devil and then there are people who are God-fearing. So the deputy president, in my view, wants to use the church for two main reasons. Number one, the networks. There are certain churches in this country. I want to give you just an example. There's the Legio Maria, for example. Then there is the Nomia, I know. Then there is the Akurino. These churches, if they decide to support you, they'll support you. They'll support you through and through. And even this, the one they were using in Kebra, if they decide to support you, they'll actually support you. So the deputy president has identified some of these indigenous churches which has national appeal, and then he's going to use their network. He's channeling his functions, his funds through those churches. And you know, church leaders and money, they love money. So they're now worshipping actually the deputy president. So the deputy president is going to use that. Number two is that the deputy president doesn't want a situation where he's under attack and the church is also attacking him. Because if the church is not attacking him, then it means the church are going to pray for him. So if you say the deputy president is corrupt, then the church is going to offer prayer for him. If you say the deputy president is not fit for the presidency of this country because of this, then the church will stand for him. Number five, the fifth strategy which I've seen is that the deputy president has also decided that it's not going to be forced out of Jubilee. He's going to stay put in Jubilee Party. And then the deputy president is going to wait for the right time. If he will not succeed in controlling Jubilee, then he's going to engineer a mass exodus from Jubilee Party at the right time, but not now. So that's a strategy which is using, because initially, the deputy president believed that Jubilee was the vehicle he was going to use. If you are very keen of late, the deputy president is no longer selling Jubilee as a political party. He's selling himself as the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. So he's waiting for the right time to leave. And number six, something which I'm seeing also coming out very strongly, is that the deputy president is likely to oppose the Building Bridges initiative. He has realized that there's a high percentage of Kenyans who are opposed to this Building Bridges initiative. So he wants to take leadership in opposing the Building Bridges initiative, especially if it's going to go for a vote outside there. And probably that explains why the system is now keen on passing it through parliament. And in my view, the latest strategies by the deputy president, in my view, are likely to work for him, not what he used to do before. Because before, he would accuse Raila Odinga, while Raila Odinga was even not a problem he was facing. Thank you guys, and if you are watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, you'll get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Thank you, and please, may you have a good day. Bye-bye.